Okay, this is day 7 notes, and what we're going to do is we're going to start pulling everything together. We're going to start making sense of everything and having different practices. So we're going to write an equation for the line that satisfies the given conditions. Up here at the very top, I'm going to write the equations that I need to remember because I always want to make sure I have them available in case I forget. So this is slope-intercept form, and then we have point-slope form as well. So on number 1, it says the slope is 7 and the y-intercept is 2. That's perfect. That gives us everything we need, and we just have to rewrite it. Plugging it in. Y equals our slope, 7x, and our y-intercept is -2. The following, number 2, says the slope is 0 and the y-intercept is 9.18. So just plugging our numbers in. Y equals, as intelligent individuals, we know it's not necessary to put a 0 as a placeholder, so y equals 9.18. All right, number 3, it says the line passes through the points 3, 1, and 6, 4. At this time, we do not have our slope. So that's another equation that I forgot to write down that we need to remember. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So we're going to plug those numbers in for us, x1, y1, x2, y2, and solve. So we'll get 4 minus 1 over 6 minus 3, so we have 3 over 3, which is equal to 1. This is our slope. Now we are going to have to use point-slope formula because we have points and the slope. Plugging in, we're looking only for the first ordered pair here. So y minus y1 was 1 is equal to, our slope is 1, times x minus x1, which is 3. We're going through our steps and we're going to distribute. So y minus 1 times x is still x. 1 times -3 is still -3. Our equation is not quite by itself, so we're going to solve by adding 1 to each side. And we get y is equal to x minus 2. Number 4 is the same way. So I'm going to skip that one. Well, actually, let's not, because it's got negatives. So we have y2 minus y1 to find our slope over x2 minus x1. y2 is -3 minus -11. I put those on top of each other, sorry. Over -8 minus -24. This turns into addition. And now we have different signs, so we're going to subtract and take the sign of the higher. So 11 minus 3 is 8 over 24 minus 8 is 16, which we can simplify to 1/2. Our slope is 1/2. Using our first points, y minus y1 is -11 is equal to 1/2 times x minus -24. Turns into addition. That looks a little better if I do that. And we're going to distribute our 1/2, so y plus 11 equals 1/2 x. And then 1/2 of 24 is going to be 12, so 1/2 plus 12. Solving it by subtracting 11 from both sides and combining like terms, we arrive at the solution that y is equal to 1/2 x plus 1. Number 5 is using decimals. It's just the same idea, so you guys can consider that. But when we look at our y values, we're going to have 2 and 2. So if we find the slope, that's 2 minus 2 on top. -12.3 minus -4.5. So although the decimals look kind of scary, we're going to get 0 divided by something. But anytime we have 0 divided by something, that tells us that our slope is 0. So at this particular point in time, we know that we have y equals something. The slope is 0. So we can plug that back into an equation. Y minus y1 is negative 4.5. And it's equal to 0 times x minus negative 4.5. I did that backwards. Y1 was 2. So it's y minus 2 is equal to 0 times the following. So that cancels out and we'll get y minus 2 is equal to 0. We add 2 on both sides. We get y is equal to 2, which we can see right here. Both of our points have a 2 as the y value. Number 6 gives us the information that we need. We have the slope, and it passes through the points 5, 0. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is erase the mess so we have some room. Remember, guys, you can always pause. Always pause and write down whatever you need. So we're going to use y minus y1 was 0 is equal to negative 1/2 of x minus our x1 is 5. So we'll get y minus 0, which is not necessary for us. So y equals negative 1/2 x. And then we have to distribute the 1/2, the negative 1/2 to our negative 5. So we're multiplying negative 1/2 times negative 5 over 1. To do that, we simply multiply straight across. Negative times a negative gives us a positive 5/2. Okay, finally, we're putting it all into words and we're having real life situations that we're going to have to pull in together. So we're going to read it. At Big Bob's Bowling Center, the cost to bowl 4 games, not including shoe rental, is $8.40, and the cost to rent shoes is $1.15. So we have to figure out what it is that we are looking for, and to do that we have to read the question. So it says, write an equation for the cost, C, for renting shoes and bowling in games. So we now know that we have to figure out what is the cost for 1 game. So we have 4 games is $8.40, and shoe rental is $1.15. So to do that, I'm simply going to take the total cost, $8.40, and divide it by the 4 games. So it costs $2.10 per each game. So we're talking about bowling in games. So we have $2.10 times in. We're not sure what this is. But then there's another thing. So we're considering this as it's just us. There's only one pair of shoes to rent. So we're going to add. So we can either put that in the front or the back based off of the commutative property of addition. I'm going to put it in the back because I can kind of tell that we're starting to get a linear equation. So we have C equals 210n plus 115, which is similar to y equals mx plus b. So we need to figure out what is the y-intercept and what does it mean. Well, our y-intercept is the constant or the number without a variable. So we can see here that's 115. And when we refer back to our original situation, that lets us know that's the cost for shoes. What is your slope of the equation and what does it represent? Slope is the number in front of the x or the number per each of something. In this particular equation, it's per each game. So we have $2.10 per game. So now it tells us we have 6 games that we need to figure out. What is the cost of renting shoes and bowling for 6 games? We're just going to take this number and plug it into our equation. So we're going to get cost equals 210 times 6 plus 115. So we'll multiply 210 times 6. we get $12.60, and then we're going to add that 115, and we arrive at the fact that it will cost us $13.75. Now it's telling us the particular amount that he paid. So this goes back to solving situations that we've done before. So he pays $7.45. That's the total cost. And we need to figure out how many games did he play. So 210 in plus 115. Solving equations, we start by drawing our line. Undo addition and subtraction first. So we have 630 is equal to 210 in. To undo this, we divide by 210 because we want to stay with our in there. So if we divide by 210, we can do it a number of different ways. The easiest thing is to do in your calculator, but if you're going to do it by hand, make sure to move your decimal point. So Tony plays 3 games.